lot of controversy in the community recently about a particular mod called CBF, and I have been personally wanting to cover this video for a while. And there are other videos on the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I recommend that if you want to get another narrative on the story, you watch Niftycat's video. That is extremely good. That will be in the link in the description. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, personally, right off the bat, I'm just going to say it's not cheating. And my reason for this is that in the community, previously we've had things like FPS bypass and TPS bypass, and those used to be considered cheating until they weren't. They used to be considered that they made the game easier until they didn't. Now it's fully allowed for every completion. So I don't see why we shouldn't treat CBF the same way. Right? It's just another mod that technically makes the game easier, is revolutionary to the players, and will eventually become the new standard over time. We just have to embrace it. It is a great feat of modern day Geometry Dash modding, and I think that it was such a great idea to create this. As levels are becoming more demanding towards the player, and the player sometimes just cannot do it. So creating a mod that doesn't necessarily make the game easier, but makes the game significantly, how do I explain this, more or less like, more or less, newer day standards. Because if we don't evolve with this mod, then what's going to happen to us? I'm an older player. I've been around for a much longer time. And originally, when I heard about it, I was completely against it, even though my favorite player, Doggy, was using it for his grief completion. I ended up watching a few streams of it just to see it, and I noticed that the game was behaving significantly differently. So, I started using it myself. And immediately, I can already see the difference from using TPS bypass, which causes lag and breaks the game as well, to using click between frames. Just so much more crazy. For those of you who say that click between frames is cheating, I'm not saying that you're wrong either. I'm just saying that click between frames personally, through my standpoint, and historically, wouldn't be cheating. And yes, it may take the community a while to realize that it might not be cheating. Currently, the majority of the community thinks it's cheating. So, why? Well, what the majority of the community thinks, from what I can see as a person who thinks it should be allowed, is that it is cheating because it makes the game easier. And while that is true, you have to look at TPS bypass. It made levels possible and levels easier. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's necessarily cheating. I do love one particular video that's not exactly super argumentative by Niftycat that I mentioned earlier, that you should definitely go check out. I think it's a great video, and I actually agree with some of the stuff that he said. And not to mention, I do sort of think it is cheating. If you do count for the fact that it would be cheating for botting and other levels such as impossible levels, I do quite possibly think it's cheating. However, this is just my opinion. Whether it's cheating or not cheating is your opinion. Whether you want to use it or don't want to use it is your opinion. However, I recommend it to any player who really wants to get serious about Geometry Dash. And if you really want to get good at this game or really want to verify a level that you've been assigned to, then I seriously recommend that you do so. It's a great mod and honestly creates such better players, and honestly, it makes the game significantly easier to play easier levels or even harder levels. I've completed some challenges that I've been setting for myself for a long time. One of the things that Niftycat said is, while he thinks it's cheating, he still doesn't think that these compliments should be demoted just because they're using CBF. They still quite take a lot of skill to do this. One of the suggestions that I think I might make, if the community still decides that this is cheating, is that people can practice levels with CBF and then play with regular TPS bypass or FPS bypass, whatever they want to use. It's simple that CBF is now so much open to everyone rather than things like MegaHack, which used to be paid and such. Now we have Geode and heaps of other mod loaders like iCreate, which even introduced their own clip between frames. It's becoming a significant standard, and the community, or at least older members of the community such as me, aren't updating with it. It is becoming so much obviouser that it's becoming a new standard. You have it on mobile, you have it on PC, and I think it should be used. If it's not, then I would be very disappointed. Thanks for listening. This is my video. Bye!